All right, here we go. We are recording. So we got to stop all that swearing that we normally do. Overtime pay and an overtime rate. What is the difference between the two? Who's got a good definition of overtime pay? Triton.
So overtime pay is increased pay for the hours you worked over 40 hours.
Good. Okay, so overtime pay is additional pay for working over 40 hours. 40 hours in how long? A week. Yes? Oh, sorry. Additional pay for working over 40 hours a week. So what's the overtime rate then, Triton?
Depending on the employer, that could be 1.5 times pay,
Uh-huh.
2 times pay.
Right. So you take your hourly rate and you multiply by ... It's 1.5 if it's called time and a half. And you multiply by 2 if it's called double time. And by the way, it's not, overtime pay isn't always just for working over 40 hours a week. Can anybody think of a different time you might get paid overtime pay? Ethan?
Holidays.
Yes, sometimes, or working holidays. Or, I mean, your boss can just decide, go ahead.
What about like if you're working a further distance away from home?
Exactly. So, but that's not, like, holidays are kind of like mandated. Like, if you're gonna work during a federal holiday, they need to pay you more. Or if you're gonna work over 40 hours a week, they need to pay you more. But certain bosses might say, especially as an incentive, hey, this is a really difficult job, but I'll give you some overtime if you take it. Or this is a really far away job, I'll give you overtime if you take it. Or I know that you weren't available this week, but we desperately need you, I'll give you overtime if you come in. So there can be like just an agreement between you and your employer temporarily, but these are the two, over 40 hours a week and working holidays are generally the two that are guaranteed overtime. Okay? So, I mean, well, yeah. If your job is working on a holiday, then it's probably already wrapped into your salary. Like if you are playing Santa Claus, then yeah, you're probably already looking at that. You don't want to be like, Christmas holiday pay here. You know, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah?
I mean, I remember working on a Christmas Eve professional, and not only was, I was granted overtime pay, but the amount of hours that I worked, they would give me a $10 gift card depending on how many hours I worked.
Nice. So, I mean, yeah, because they're basically, a lot of businesses need to keep functioning, right, over the holidays. And so many people want to be home with their families. So all of a sudden you've got great incentives if you're willing to work. Okay, everybody okay with that? Okay, so you multiply your hourly rate by 1.5 for time and a half or 2 for double time. Let's look at the worksheet together. Okay, I'm going to pick, let's do Chang, the employee, as my example. And then I also want to do, no, I'm not going to do any of the others here, although Hernandez is tempting because we know Hernandez. But hourly wage, hourly work, okay. Let's do 24 and 26. So we're going to do Chang, 24 and 26. Okay, now it says up at the top, everybody look and circle it. It says use an overtime rate of 1.5. For any work over 40 hours. All right, so Chang, how many hours did he work at regular pay? How many hours is regular pay? 40 hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 40 times 10, 20. If you need a calculator, go get it. Okay, so I'm gonna write my work down here, just because I'm treating this like notes, and look at me now. I expect you to write down your work down here, just like me for this problem. For the rest of the problems, you can do a lot of it just on your calculator, but right now it's like we're taking notes on this problem, okay? All right, so regular pay, and this is the Chang one, in case you need to figure out where this reference is coming from. We took 40 hours times $10.20, and we got $408. That's where the regular pay came from. Everybody okay with this so far? But how many overtime hours?
6 3/4.
6 3/4. Does everybody understand how to get that? Because he worked 46 3/4. So 6 3/4 were that overtime rate. Okay, but it's really hard for me to write 6 3/4 in my calculator, so how do I write it as a decimal? 0.75 is what 3/4 is. However, if you didn't know that, like let's say you didn't just automatically know that 3/4 is 0.75, what do I do in my calculator to show me that? Triton. So everybody do it in your calculator. 3 divided by 4, divided sign is the same thing as a fraction. That's 0.75. So this would be 6.75 hours times, and then we need to figure out how much he makes for overtime. What's the rate? It's going to be what? 1.5 times the original amount. So I'm going to write that down here. This is $10.20 times
15.
1.5.
15.
Nice try. $15.30. And is that how much he made in overtime pay? No, that's how much he's making per hour, which is pretty good because he normally makes $10.20. I guess I'm assuming this is a dude, but maybe it's a lady. So she normally makes $10.20, and right now she's making $15.30. So that's what we're multiplying by. We're multiplying by that $15.30. This is the overtime rate. 675 times 1530 is, did you guys get $103.28? Yeah? And that's what goes right here. $103.28. And then how do you find out their total pay? Just add them together. Mm-hmm.
28 cents.
Good, $511.28. Nice catch. Okay, now look at this. This lady worked 40 hours a week, $408, and then just a little